Hi, my name is Tom Summers, and I'm a labor attorney in Vermont, and I'm handling a wage and hour case, an overtime case, on behalf of state employees, and I want to talk to you about it very briefly so you can understand what your rights are and what you can do to join the case and help us force the state of Vermont to abide by the overtime laws. Basically, the case covers employees who are in the correctional, judiciary, non-management, and supervisory units. And all employees in steps 23 and above are eligible to join the suit. And as you know, if you're in step 23 or above, you're only paid straight time for your overtime, but you're still an hourly employee. Those who are below step 23 are paid time and a half. The trouble with the state's treatment of you and other employees who are at step 23 and above is that they don't treat you as a salaried employee. And you must be salaried to be exempt from overtime. Because you are not salaried, you're entitled to time and a half for your overtime. Despite the requests from the Vermont State Employees Association and from our law firm, the state continues to refuse to abide by the law. So we have filed a collective action on behalf of all the state employees in step 23 and above in those bargaining units, and the case is now pending in federal court. We believe it's going very well. We have 40 plaintiffs. We need to have more plaintiffs to join in because there's certainly power in numbers, and that power would equal a better negotiating posture with the state. Now, there are a lot of employees who have some questions, and that's why I'm here today, and I hope that I can answer those questions about the case. You cannot benefit from the case unless you join it. And in order to join it, you need to fill out a form, a consent form, and also fill out a fee agreement with my firm. It's a 25% contingency fee, which is lower than the standard of 33%. Ordinarily in these types of actions, the court will award attorney's fees that will cover any costs and fees that would have been incurred. So hopefully as the case goes on, and if we prevail, and I certainly believe we will, there will be no percentage taken out of your award. It'll all be covered by the state who will have to pay our attorney's fees. But we'll send you a fee agreement and you can take a look at it if you want to give us a call at 863-1191 and ask for Tom Summers, and I'll be happy to talk to you at any time about that type of case. I know many of you are concerned about retaliation from the state, whether it's in the future in a promotion or a potential layoff or some other type of petty retaliation. And I can assure you that we will take all of these types of cases and any allegations of retaliation very seriously and enforce the anti-retaliation provisions that are not only in the overtime law, in the federal overtime law, the Fair Labor Standards Act, but also in state law and under your collective bargaining agreement. So you're not going to be out there alone. I think the state understands that in this situation and with the people it's dealing with, that we are not going to take that lightly. Secondly, in terms of retaliation, another thing to keep in mind is there's simply not that much money involved for the state to suffer any serious financial penalty to come into compliance with the law. What it's doing right now is basically borrowing your money or stealing your money interest-free and daring you to stand up to it. So I would challenge you to stand up to the state because I am confident we're going to prevail. And you also will be considered an employee who has exercised their rights under federal law, and you may very well have more protections than the average employee because of that, at least in the mind of the state. So we understand the retaliation issues. I certainly do. My father was a state employee, and I can remember him being laid off. And I know what it's like to be in a household where there are kitchen table discussions that are very stressful between family members, between father and the mother, when a state employee loses their job. My wife is also a state employee, so I very much understand the situation you may feel yourself in. But if you absolutely want to stand up and exercise your rights, we'd urge you to do that by contacting us. There's no obligation. You'll pay no fee and no costs if we don't recover. So your only obligation would be to join the case and perhaps be involved in some judicial proceedings and some depositions if the matter is not resolved.